Happy Saturday, everybody. I am now officially on vacation. I am off to the bus to do what is guaranteed to be a nasty, dirty, hot, sweaty job. I have to completely clean out the bus, get all the dirt out from the sides, sweep it all up, get the floor prepped so that Christina, while I'm away on a backpacking trip with my daughter, I'm hoping Christina will have the time to do the rust conversion on the floor. But today is getting that prepared to work. Hopefully it works. Off for coffee and donuts though. So I am at the bus. Obviously you see me in the bus. Still super excited that that's done. Yeah, all this mess on the floor, all this all has to come out so I can clean everything, get everything all swept up, blown out, and then we can start doing rust conversion on the floor. The last thing we want is the floor rusting out from underneath the build. So we're gonna do the rust converter on it. It's not heavy rust, it's just a lot of surface rust, but this will take care of anything that's there and give us a good start. This is the cleanest the bus has been since we brought it here. The only thing that's left sitting in here, I gotta get my little thing of zippy wrap. Okay, now the only thing left sitting in here is the electrical that I've taken and tucked up on the dash. Other than that, everything else is out. So I'm gonna go down the sides here, blow this all out with an air hose, and then I will sweep the floor again, and then I'll bring the shop vac in. And the goal is to get this as clean as possible so that we can take care of the rust on the floor, which really shouldn't be too big of a problem. Once the rust on the floor is taken care of, we can do the subfloor temporary install so that we can do our layout plan in masking tape. Then I can start doing the electrical. I still need to deal with this mess. I'm gonna bring the sander in here. I might have to sandblast this, but we'll see. I'm gonna cut the rust out there. I'm gonna cut the rust out here. I just don't want it getting any worse, so I'm just gonna take a zippy cut that off, and deal with this stuff here. Give it a spray with some paint. And eventually those lights are coming out, so I'll be blocking those from the outside. But off we go. I'm going to use the shop vac with a brush on and get all this insulation out of here. I think I can just hit this with a wire brush and clean it up, and we'll paint on some of the rust converter. But I'm going to come up in here around this window, and I think I'm going to cut that out with a zip disc. Same with this window. I'm just going to cut that out, and then I'm going to just hit this with a wire brush. Down in here we've got quite a bit of surface rust, and I think we'll just paint some rust converter on it and call it good. But for the meantime, I got to get this spotless clean, and there's a lot of dirt down in those edges still. I changed my mind on the back here. I'm not cutting this out. When I hit this with the wire brush just on the drill, it cleaned off all the big stuff. So when Christina does the rust converter, she will start here and just paint this whole area up nice, and that should pretty much take care of all that. Both sides, same thing. And now we are removing the caulking from around the wheel wells because it is all peeling out. It's mostly just falling out, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, so we're gonna peel that all out.
Some of it looks good, but there's cracks.
Yeah, so it needs to be replaced. So after we do the rust converter, before we do the subfloor, we will use the same sealant that we've used around the windows to seal these back up.
Are we gonna do that today?
We may do it today. We may not. It's put the flooring in day. It's an exciting day. Just today, starting work on the interior. Last weekend, while I was off on a backpack trip with my daughter, Christina did the rust proofing on the floor, which looks fantastic. So today I'm going and I'm starting on the subfloor. I'm going to put in the joists, I guess you'd call it, the structure for the subfloor, and then put plywood on top of it, and then we can mask it out. Hopefully later today or tomorrow we can mask it out and do our layout of where everything's going to be, so I know where to run electrical. So let's get started on that today. Here you can see where Christina went around with the rust converter last weekend. You know, it still looks, you're gonna look at it and think, oh, it still looks like rust. Well, yeah. We didn't clean all the rust out. We just put this rust converter on. Like, here's a particularly rusty spot that came out really black. That's what the converter does. The longer it sits there, the blacker it goes, is what the bottle tells us. So today I am pulling all this stuff out, and I'm going to start at the back, work my way forward with the subfloor, put in all the framing, and build the boxes around the wheel wells. And then I'll come all the way up to the front here, around the driver's seat platform, and then I'll start putting in the plywood. And I'm hoping that I can get the plywood in today. And we also have tomorrow, but Sunday we're leaving and going on a 6 or 7 day backpacking trip. Christina and I and my daughter Michaela. So there we go. Better get at it. Oh, Dad and I came and picked up plywood, the 3/4 inch plywood for the floor. 2x6s, because I didn't have any nice 2x3s, so I'm just going to rip them in half, and that becomes the beams on the floor. There it is. There's the frame for the subfloor. All complete. I've got braces. The plywood's going to go across the bus, and I just have to trim a little bit off the ends, and then I've got braces every 4 feet where the seams will be. And I'm about to build boxes around the wheel wells, and I'm also about to build the box for the access hole for the sending unit for the tank. This is the access hole for the diesel tank sending unit, hoses and etc. This needs to be accessible. You need to be able to make this so that you can get at it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop here, and then in behind it, I'm going to leave about 2 inches of space on either side, all 4 sides. And then I'm going to set a piece of the subfloor, the plywood that we're using, into that, so that it can just be lifted out and taken out of the way so you can access that. Also, I'm going to seal around this whole thing and screw it into the floor so that no dust comes up, no water comes up. It's nicely sealed. So there's that solution. The plywood from the flooring will be just halfway, and then the rest of it will just be halfway around for the lid. It's only temporarily in there. I've got to take it out, put a lot of sealant underneath it, caulk around the inside when I put it back down, and I'm going to actually screw this down through the floor just so that it doesn't have any chance to get any dust or moisture up in there. There it is. Entire substructure for the subfloor is done. Just finished the framing around the wheel wells. That's going to get 3/4 inch plywood on the outside, and it'll get spray foamed on the inside, and then a 3/4 inch plywood lid. And this side on the driver's side is where the toilet is going to be. This side over here is a cabinet, and partly the couch will come to the edge here. That up right there will be part couch. But I think on that side, I think we're going to build something for our chest fridge. Now, I got about an hour left, so I'm going to see if we can get a back piece of plywood laid in. And there we go. First piece of the subfloor is in. Had to split it down the middle because it wouldn't go down past the chair rail. I mean, it tucked in under one side, but it got caught on the other side, and there was no way to bend it because it's too thick and I didn't want to break it. So we just split it down the middle. Doesn't matter. It's a subfloor. Back there will be cork flooring on top of it, and in the front here is all going to be laminate. So there we go. Come back tomorrow, we'll get the rest of the subfloor put in. This is just temporary, so we can tape it out to get our layout. And then we'll be taking it all back out. We'll number the boards, of course, and then we'll take it all back out when we spray foam. We are back at the bus for another day. We're going to finish the subfloor today. That's all we're worried about, is getting the floor put in, as we are heading on a week-long backpacking trip tomorrow, so we need to get our stuff packed up tonight. So get this floor in, and that's all we're doing today. Before I get carried away putting everything back in, we're done. Just gonna do around the boxes and stuff when we come back, but we just wanted to get the floor down so it can settle and be nice and seated. It is screwed down so it doesn't move, but when we come back from our trip, we'll be doing a layout with masking tape, so that's pretty exciting. That will give us the opportunity to decide where lights are gonna go, where plugs are gonna be, and everything like that. So I guess that's it for this one. We are here at the bus now doing the floor plan, mostly to give us a rough idea of what we're building in and where I need to put power. So back in this area here, we have the bed up to the green line there, green tape. That corner up there, we're going to build a dog kennel underneath. Up to the outside of the tape, yeah. That's where the bed's going to go, all the way across, and there'll be a headboard area up here. And next to that, on the driver's side going forward, we'll have our shower space. So basically the green tape is the wall. And then over top of the wheel well is where we're going to put our composting toilet. And on the other side, the passenger side, curb side, this area is going to stay open. This area here is going to stay open to give room for the dogs to come out from their kennel area, and then we can put...
And the kennel's underneath the bed.
Yes, the kennel's under the bed. So we can put a table here if we want, or a clothes hamper, whatever. And in this area here, we'll have the fridge. Eventually the fridge will go here. I should also mention, in this corner between the passenger side wheel well and the dog's kennel, we're going to put a flip down table, like one that folds down on hinges with a power box above it or right next to it, whichever, so that we can sit here and and do work on the computer, or we can, you know, set the computer there and watch a movie from the bed or whatever. So or eat, yeah, if we have somebody that is not in the mood to sit with me. That is what's going to go there. From the driver's side wheel well forward is going to be our kitchen area. So we're going to have standard depth cabinets here, starting from where the bathroom ends. We'll have the sink, and then we have a stove that's just a butane stove. It's not going to be permanently mounted at this time. We can put it anywhere we want. And then up in this corner, just to allow us to put a swivel on the driver's seat and turn it around, and then you've got an open area where you're not stuck up against the cabinet. We're going to make this cabinet the same depth as the console beside the driver's cabinet. So it'll just come to the one window, and we'll have 1, 2, probably 3 doors on there. The diesel heater is going to go under the sink, and it's going to just blow out. We're going to put a kick plate underneath, and we'll put a register vent under there, and it'll just blow out of the register vent and draw in from the other side somewhere. We'll figure that out. That's where the diesel heater will go. And then under the bus in the front, we're going to have water, and our water tanks, I believe, will be right in this area. And then we'll have the propane and diesel in a cabinet underneath up here. That may change. We may move the water a little farther forward. This is the flooring we've decided to use. Laminate flooring, kind of a whitewashy look. We found 2 boxes of it at, where was that at? The reuse store. Yeah, and we picked up both of them because we're pretty sure we can utilize all of it. Even if there's some left, we can use it for a feature wall because it just looks nice. Up here on the passenger side from the front, as you come in the doorway, there's going to be a passenger seat here. A nice heated one for Christina because she needs a heated seat. On a swivel mount, I'm also going to build in here cup holders and charging station for her, and probably a swivel mounted table that she can use while we're driving, or for any other time. And right behind that is going to be the couch area, which will be over top of the access hole for the sending unit on the diesel tank. It will be a slide out couch so that it will convert into a bed, and if we need extra room while we're sitting on it, we just pull it out a bit. It's going to go all the way back to just on top of the wheel well, 6 feet. We're making the couch 6 feet long. And then right next to that, we're going to be putting a small slide out pantry so we can put jars and spices and such. Next to that is going to be the fridge area. So whether we use a chest fridge and build something above it, or if we just put in a full-sized residential propane fridge, we're not sure yet. That we'll figure out later. And that covers our layout. We're also going to be putting cabinets up above. So all along the passenger side up to the fridge area is going to be an open shelf. Then with a railing on it so nothing flies off. Then behind that and around into the bedroom area, all the way around the bedroom to the bathroom, to the shower.
All the way to here.
All the way to the shower area is going to be big old closed shelving, cabinets. And then you're going to have the shower, then the bathroom, and then
we'll have a cabinet above the toilet.
Above the toilet, there'll be one there. And then after the bathroom areas, it's going to be all cabinets this whole length to where the transition starts.
And ultimately, that center will become
some kind of cabinet. Up above the driver's cabin there, we're going to put a cabinet up in there too, because that's going to be a lot of wasted space. As long as I can get my big head underneath it, we'll be fine. Put a nice big cabinet up in there. So today's a pretty cool day. We're starting on putting the furring strips up for the roof and walls. We're at that point now, and we are starting the electrical. Just starting on the 12-volt system today. Well, first we got to put the furring strips in. But that's exciting. Once we get the furring strips in, once the electrical is run, I can spray foam. So it's a lot of electrical to run. I'm not running it in a traditional way. I am not grounding everything to the bus because you can't trust that ground. So I'm running all the grounds back to the battery. So it's not going to be traditional, but it's going to be very solid, very effective. And let's get on that. We are going to be putting in furring strips along the ribs so that when we put the wood up on the roof and the walls, we've got somewhere to attach it to. And then after that, we're going to be starting on the electrical for the living space. So we've come in and last night we marked locations. And a light here and a light here. Lights up here, wherever we're gonna have lights. And these lights are gonna be underneath the shelves that are along there. And these lights are gonna be underneath the cabinets that are along there. But I marked all the locations so that I can run the electrical to each of those. And then from there, it's all gonna come back to this corner back here under the bed. So I'm gonna have eventually gonna have the charge controllers and the batteries, everything will be in this corner back here. So that is gonna be a lot of wiring, but I bought a lot of wire. So we can get started on that today. And there's still a few things to do on the outside, so while I'm doing electrical, Christina can be doing some of the stuff on the outside, getting it ready for paint. Ideally, I'd like to be able to either paint or spray foam this coming weekend. So today's a holiday, so I've got all day today, and then I've got 4 evenings and all next week. I have all next weekend that I can be doing stuff as well, but I'd like to be able to get the spray foam in or the paint done, one or the other. But we're close. Like we're close. I don't think I'll be able to paint. I still have a few things to do on the exterior that could take me a couple of days. But if we could spray foam it, and then we can start slapping in start installing the walls, the ceiling, and then I can start building the bed. That's going to go very quickly. Once we get the walls in and we start building stuff, that is going to go very quickly. Away we go. I have come back to the bus on a Tuesday evening. I just got to get the front section done with the furring strips and figure out what to do up there on the transition for furring strips. And I've got a plan of attack for the back here around the windows. So I'm only going to stay for a couple of hours today. I'm tired. So I brought my saw table saw and the miter saw inside the bus. Gonna hook the shop vac to it because it's kind of miserable out. It's raining and such, and I don't want to dirty up my parents' garage. So guess I'll get going on how many pieces I need here and get cutting away. There's the front fairing strips along over top the driver. I can't do behind the door mechanism yet until we figure out how we're going to make this door. Then I can take the door closure off and I can put one in there. But we can't spray foam over top of it anyway. It'll have to get spray foamed in behind the hard way, because all that metal in there is all very nice and structural, and I'm not cutting that all out. If we need to, we'll put a little bit of spray foam on the outside. I'm going to move my attention to the back. I've had enough. I've been here a couple hours and I got enough done that I'm satisfied. But this I'm going to have to fix. I broke 2 screws there and 1 screw there, and it's pulling this piece of tin, the door frame, away from there. So what I'm going to have to do is probably secure this in a little bit better, so it's secured in at all, and then countersink where the heads are, and then I can put my screws in, and that should do better. I'll do that tomorrow. I gotta grind this one off. I've got one that broke up here because I think I hit the weld, or I may have hit the edge. I don't know, I think I hit the weld up there and broke that one off. But yeah, that's coming together good. I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna do in this corner here to give me somewhere to affix a wall. I'll figure it out. I'll just think on it. Well, that's it. I'm out of here.